Good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this afternoon. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the public defender to represent you today. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn.
Why?
Y'all solemnly swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Shania Weisenhunt. Want to miss what's your date of birth? Okay. Been charged with battery being domestic in nature. That's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender? Okay. I'll appoint the public defender. Any history, state?
Your Honor, there's no history, but the victim did appear a victim witness and provide a written statement they would like us to read on the record.
Okay, go ahead.
To whom it may concern, I have no interest in pressing charges against Shania Van Weisenhunt. Contacted Sheriff's Office in an attempt to get my niece Baker active so she could receive mental and or drug help as she is dangerous to herself and others. Her grandmother has a facility lined up. And that statement is from William, and we have a copy of his driver's license verifying his identification.
Very good. All right. Any history then, Ms. Bunker?
No.
All right. I'm going to set Shania's bond at $100 with the condition that she may have peaceful contact with the alleged victim. I'll have her back in court on the 5th of June. Thank you, Shania. Brittany Condren. Well, Brittany, what's your date of birth?
10/5/1988.
Brittany, you're here on the writ of bodily attachment. That means that a child support hearing officer and a circuit judge determined that you owe some child support. Brittany, they set your cash purge at $570. Do you have $570 right now?
I do not.
Okay, you're working these days, Brittany?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there any amount of money at all that you could have somebody bring to the jail if it meant getting out of jail today?
I have $50 at my house in my wallet. I could maybe get 50 more from my mom.
Would your mom bring the 50 that you have?
Could she? Yeah.
Okay. How long has it been since you worked, Brittany?
Couple years.
Okay. All right, Brittany, I'll find that you're in contempt for the failure to pay child support. As a sanction for that contempt, I'll sentence you to 10 days in the county jail starting today, or until you come up with the $50. Let's see. So get your mom to bring the $50 and they'll let you out, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Now this, Brittany, just so you know, this doesn't clear up your problem when you get out. then you should contact the folks at Child Support Enforcement and see what you can do to get this cleared up. Because if you don't get it cleared up, then somewhere down the road they're going to do this again and you're going to get arrested again, okay?
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
You bet. Tammy Petre. Want to miss what your date of birth?
June 1398.
Tammy, the charge is trespass. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Yes, Your Honor. In 2017, she has a withhold on trespass as well as carrying a concealed weapon. That's all I see.
That's it. All right. Tammy, I've got an address for you at the Green Key in Newport Richie. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No.
How long has it been since you worked?
I haven't.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $500. I'm going to have you back in court on the 5th of June. If you bond out, it's very important that you go see the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Nina Quillis. Morning, Nina, or afternoon. What's your date of birth?
8/25/82.
And I have 2 warrants today, both signed by Judge Merritt. In each of those cases, he found probable cause for a violation of probation. And I have new arrest for driving on a suspended license and providing false name to law enforcement. There's probable cause for all those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'm going to appoint the PD. On the 2 new charges, I'm going to leave the bond per the schedule, which is $5,000 on the driving, $1,000 on the false name. I'm going to move those cases to the 11th of June. I think they told you the 5th. The right date is the 11th. Then, of course, on the VOPs, the bond is no bond. I can't change that. So I'll leave those at no bond. Those are coming back also then on the 11th of June. So all your cases will be coming back on the same day. Public defender is going to come see you at the jail before you go to court, okay?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Katie White. Afternoon, Miss White. What's your date of birth?
3/31/85.
Okay, you have a charge of trespass. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State, would you tell me?
Yes, she actually just served 60 days in Hernando County Jail and was released maybe a week or 2 ago. And then a couple weeks before that, she did 25 days in Hernando County Jail. These were for petty theft and possession of paraphernalia.
Hang on a second, Katie. Okay, Katie, I have an address for you on Springwood Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yeah, that's where I live, and my mom was just me and her got into it, and she removed the trespassing, and the cops seen that I had a trespassing before there, but I do live there. She just
Well, apparently you have a trespass there right now that's still valid.
how do I
Well, I can't help you with that, Katie. So obviously, the long and short is, until this case is resolved, don't go back there, okay?
yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $500. You'll be back in front of me on June the 5th. Don't go back to the Springwood address, and contact the PD as soon as you get out, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Raquel Sanchez. Afternoon, miss. What's your date of birth?
May 11th, 2000.
All right, 5 charges this morning, this afternoon, young lady. Got 2 counts of possession of controlled substance, 1 count of introduction of contraband into a detention facility, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, and 1 count of unauthorized operation of a motor vehicle. What was that?
But it's permitting an
unauthorized person to operate the motor vehicle. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD state.
Yes, Your Honor. In 2016, it looks like she was on PTI in Hillsborough County for interfering with school administration and arson. That's all I think.
That's it. Ms. Sanchez, where you been staying lately?
Actually, I just moved on Saturday to my aunt's house, and I'm not sure the address.
That's you? Are you the aunt? Is that where she's going to live?
Yes, sir.
And what's the address?
It's 16022 Snow Memorial Highway, Brooksville, Florida 34601.
Okay. All right. And Ms. Sanchez, you have a job these days?
Yes, I do. I actually missed work today.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I work in a call center for Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay. All right. On the 3 felonies, which is the 2 counts of controlled substance and the 1 count of introduction, I'll set the bond on those at $1,000 each. On the 2 misdemeanors, I'll leave it at $500. That's going to leave you with a total of $4,000. You're going to be back in court on the 11th of June. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Crystal O'Kelly? Afternoon, Crystal. What's your date of birth?
8982.
Crystal, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD state.
Just this, Your Honor.
All right. Crystal, I have an address for you on Omaha Circle. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
A year.
I'm sorry, say it again.
A year. A year.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
CMI. Telemarketing.
Okay.
Sales.
All right, Crystal, I'm going to set your bond at $100. Condition of the bond is that while this charge is pending, you'll have no contact with Mr. Chalmers. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact him through any social media. You don't go where he lives. You don't go where he works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contact him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way.
My child is at his mother's house. I will have to go to his residence to pick up my child.
Okay. Believe it or not, I'll get to that. And so don't interrupt me again, okay? All right. You also should understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. He may tell them he's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you today up until 4 p.m. so that if you got out and wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we would know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. I'm going to have you back June 5th. It looks like they may have told you the 7th. I'm going to have you back on the 5th. As far as anything that's at his house, to include your child, If you need to go pick something up, you sure can do that. You just need to contact the sheriff's office first. They'll meet you there with a deputy who'll stand by while you go and get your things or pick up your child and go wherever you're going to go until this charge is resolved, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. As soon as you get out, you should contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Tricia Kennedy? Afternoon, young lady. What's your date of birth?
221.75.
All right. The charge today is grand theft. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Yes, it looks like in September of 2018, she was arrested for a violation of probation in Pasco County. 2018, there's an adjudication for petty theft. In 2017, she was arrested on failure to appear. Looks like there were actually 3 failure to appears in 2017. In 2016, she has an adjudication for possession of synthetic cannabinoid. In 2014, there's another failure to appear. In 2013, she has a failure to appear. In 2012, she has a failure to appear. In 2011, there's a withhold on a petty theft. And in 2008, there was also a failure to appear.
And Miss, I have an address for you on US 19 in Hudson. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
On and off, just 2-3 years.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
I did until now.
Okay. What were you doing?
I detail cars at an automotive place in Hudson.
Okay.
I used to see automotive on 19 and Fulton Avenue.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave your bond at the $2,000. I'm going to have you back in court on June 11th. Very important that you contact the public defender's office if you get out, all right?
All right, sir.
Thank you. Roy Adams? Afternoon, Mr. Adams. What's your date of birth?
12/11/67.
Mr. Adams, you got 2 charges today, battery being domestic in nature and in violation of an injunction. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender, what was the injunction?
Violation of an injunction, yes.
There was no injunction.
Well,
We had it lifted so that I could come back home.
okay, well, apparently you didn't.
Well, both of us went to the judge.
Okay. I'm just telling you. So it may be, as I told you when we started, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. But when they went to look it up last night, it showed still active. All right. You're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
A public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Yes, Your Honor. In 2009, he has an adjudication for violation of a domestic violence injunction. There's also a contempt of court in 2009 and a contempt of court in 2008. In 2002, he had a violation of probation, as well as an adjudication for domestic battery. In 2001, there was a violation of probation, as well as an assault with intent to commit a felony. Going further back, it looks like in 2000 there was a domestic battery and some older DUIs.
And sir, I have an address for you on Layton Ave in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Since we've met, probably 15 years.
Okay. And do you have a job these days?
Yes, I work for Brad McDonald Roofing in Pasco.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000 on each count. The total is $4,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Mary Ann while this charge is pending. Did you hear me explain no contact?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. And just in addition, if you now go and get this injunction lifted or removed, that has no effect on my no contact order whatsoever. Do you understand that?
The last injunction, if I get that lifted.
What I'm telling you right now is any injunction out there, if you get it lifted now, it makes no difference to me whatsoever. and I will be the judge handling your case. I am ordering you not to have contact, and you're not going to have contact unless you see my face telling you it's okay to have contact. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
May
Can I
I
have?
ask?
Sure, go ahead.
I was just praying that there would be a possibility that I could be ROR'd.
It's not even legally allowed. It would be illegal for me to ROR you. So I'm gonna, like I said, 2,000 each count. Total is 4. No contact with the victim. You'll be back on the 5th of June. You can go back to Layton Avenue one time to collect your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need, wherever you plan to stay. To do that, you must contact the sheriff's office first, and contact the public defender as soon as you get out. Right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Giovanni Arbini. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
7/13/87.
Giovanni, I have 2 warrants for you, both signed by Judge Merritt. In each case, he found probable cause for a violation of probation. And then we have a new charge, a false name. There's probable cause for that. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
Pardon me?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. The bond on Judge Merritt's warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'll have those back on the 11th of June. And then on the false name charge, I'll leave the bond at the $500. That case will be coming back on the 15th of June. Public defender will come see you before you go to court, okay?
Okay.
That's what it says. So 5th of June.
Thank you.
Yep. Justin Baxter. Afternoon, Justin. What's your date of birth?
August 28th, 1990.
Justin, the charge today is felony domestic battery by strangulation. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I have not had an opportunity to speak with my family or anyone outside of the courtroom or out of the jail, so as of now I'm going to have to go with public defender.
Very good. State, what can you tell me?
Yes, I don't see any in-state, but it looks like he was charged with grand theft and burglary in Virginia, and I don't know what the resolution was.
Okay. All right. And I have an address for you, Justin, on Larkin Heath Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
That's correct.
How long have you lived there?
About a year.
Okay. Does Miss Carwell live there?
Yes, she does.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I did until I went out on long-term disability.
Okay. What sort of work did you do?
I was an armed nuclear security officer.
And when did you go on long-term disability?
About a year and a half ago.
Okay. You said you're bonded $5,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Samantha. Did you hear me explain what no contact means?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also going to hold you up until 4 p.m., so if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. Also, as far as that address that you shared, as long as she stays there, you'll still somewhere else. You can go by one time to collect your things, but you must contact Sheriff's Office first. You'll be back in court on the 11th of June. Make sure you contact the Public Defender's Office when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. David Chalmers. Afternoon, David. What's your date of birth?
7/27/1986.
David, I have a warrant for you out of Pinellas County. The judge that signed that warrant thinks you failed to appear. It's here somewhere.
May I speak to my knowledge on that?
Hang on, not yet. on driving on a suspended license charge. As to that charge, he set the bond in 2013. Nothing that you can say can change that bond. I lack the legal authority to change that bond. So I'm not sure what you want to say. It's not really of much value to me because I can't change it. You can post the bond. If you post the bond, then you can get out, go down to St. Pete, find out when they want you in court. If you can't post the bond, the folks in Pinellas County would be notified and told that you're here and ready to go. I would give them 5 days to come get you. It doesn't normally take 5 days with Pinellas, but if for some strange reason you were still here in 5 days, they'd bring you back to see me and I'd find out what the holdup is. Did you still have something you wanted to say?
I just wasn't able to get transport at that time. I was just adhering to not driving, and I was living in Spring Hill Drive at Omaha.
Right. Well, this is how they get you back on the docket. It means you probably will not be charged with the crime of failing to appear, but you will have to deal with those charges in Pinellas, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Gene Carmona. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
5/10/91.
We've got 2 charges today, possession of drug paraphernalia and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for the charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender? I'll appoint the PD. State.
Yes, Your Honor, in 2018, he has a violation of probation, an adjudication for possession of cannabis, an adjudication for possession of paraphernalia. In 2017, he has adjudication for no valid DL, as well as fleeing and attempting to elude, and resisting officer without violence, as well as possession of cannabis until 2017, and possession of synthetic cannabinoids.
Okay. Is that it?
There's a possession of drug paraphernalia also in 2017, and withholding of disorderly in 2015, as well as possession of cannabis in 2015.
Okay. And Mr. Carmona, where you been living lately?
Huh?
Where do you live?
I just moved to Hernando County that Saturday.
What's the address?
She should be in the courtroom, I believe.
It's 16022
Snow Memorial. He'll be with you too? You guys' hands full. I wish you luck, ma'am.
She's my niece.
Okay, I got you. It's a package deal. Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I work at a call center at Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay, gotcha. All right, set your bond at $1,000 on each count. That's a total of 2. I'll have you back in court on the 5th of June. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Juan Gonzalez. Afternoon, Mr. Gonzalez. What's your date of birth?
12/7/1974.
Mr. Gonzalez, you're here in a warrant that I signed in March of 2015. Found probable cause for a VOP. At that time, the folks at probation recommended 30 days in the county jail. I assume that's still the recommendation, Ms. Netting? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All right. If you'd like to do the 30, Juan, you can enter that admission now, and I would give you credit for the 2 days that you have in. If you'd rather have a chance to speak to an attorney first, of course you can do that. But the bond on this is going to be no bond. What would you like to do?
I'll do the time.
Very good. Understand, by entering an admission to a violation of probation, you give us the right to have a trial to the court, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to have a lawyer represent you. But you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this today?
Yes, sir.
In case number 143931, CT, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the admission, find it was freely and voluntarily made, revoke and terminate your probation unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge, sentence you to 30 days, credit 2 days served. There'll be a $100 cost of prosecution for the state attorney's office and your cost of incarceration. But that takes care of it, Juan. You just have to finish the time, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anthony Maza. Afternoon, Anthony. What's your date of birth?
10/1981.
Anthony, first thing I have is a warrant signed by Judge Barty. He found probable cause for 1 count of grand theft. Then we have 2 counts of defrauding a pawnbroker and 2 counts of dealing in stolen property. There's probable cause all the way around. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender? I'll appoint the public defender. State, what can you tell me?
One moment, Your Honor. In 2008, October of 2018, he had a failure to appear out of Pasco County. Looks like in 2014, there's a withhold for a petty theft. In 2009, an adjudication for driving while license suspended, habitual offender. 2007, a probation violation, as well as a withhold on possession of cocaine. 2006, he has a withhold on a worthless check.
All right. And sir, I have an address for you on Wake Robin Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yeah,
How long have you lived there?
2 weeks,
How long have you lived in Hernando County?
like 12 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yeah,
What do you do?
carpenter.
I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on the theft, $5,000 on each of the defrauding and dealing charges. That's a total of $22,000. You'll be back in court on June 11th on all charges. If you get out, make sure you contact the PD.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. David Morales. Afternoon, David. What's your date of birth?
1/1/86.
David, I have 3 charges today. I've got driving under the influence, resisting with violence, and battery on a law enforcement officer. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Fully defend.
I'll appoint the public defender. State.
Your Honor, in 2013, he has a withhold on a disorderly conduct, as well as a withhold on tampering with evidence. And that's all I have.
Yes, sir. I have an address for you on Yardley Court in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
2 years.
And do you have a job these days?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Construction.
Say it again?
Construction.
I'm going to leave your bonds for the schedule, which is $5,000 on the battery on a Leo and $5,000 on the resisting with violence, $1,000 on the DUI. That's a total of $11,000. I'll have you back in court on June 11th. Very important that you contact the public defender if you bond out, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Corey Ryan. Mr. Ryan, what's your date of birth?
9892.
Mr. Ryan, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Angelitis. He found probable cause for 3 counts: driving on a suspended license, possession of methamphetamine, and evidence tampering. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Yes, Your Honor. In 2018, he has a violation of probation as well as an adjudication for driving while license suspended. He was released in 2015 from DOC for burglary. So that adjudication was in 2012. It looks like there are multiple counts of grand theft of a dwelling. They're from 2012. Going back further, looks like he was also in DOC after a 2009 grand theft from a dwelling also.
Okay.
There's a 2011 violation of probation, cruelty to animals in 2009, dealing in stolen property in 2009, burglary of an occupied dwelling in 2009, 2008, possession of marijuana.
That's probably enough. Mr. Ryan, I have an address for you on Filson Street in Weeki-Wachee. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
3 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Framing.
All right. Relieve the bonds per the schedule. That's $2,000 on the meth and the tampering, $1,000 on the driving. The total is $5,000. You'll be back in court on June 11th. Very important. If you get out, you contact the public defender's office right away. All right?
So there's no way we can lower my bond a little bit?
Not where it is now. I think it's appropriate where it is now, Mr. Ryan. Thank you.
Yeah.
James Smith. Afternoon, Mr. Smith. What's your date of birth?
1282.
Mr. Smith, I have a warrant for you signed by Judge Heinemann. You found probable cause for a violation of injunction. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You can hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Probably PD.
I'll appoint the public defender, Steve.
You said this is Mr. Smith?
Yes.
It looks like he was released from DOC in 2017 for aggravated assault with a weapon. Flip through these. Additionally, in 2017, there's a withhold, 2001, a withhold on criminal mischief. Some dropped tampering, a withhold on another criminal mischief. That's what I see, and the petitioner from the injunction is in the courtroom, Your Honor.
Okay. And Heather, did you want to speak?
Yes.
Come on forward. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, none but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you state your name, please?
Heather Smith.
All right, Heather, what do you want to tell me?
We were unaware that the injunction was still active.
Okay.
And I did have it dismissed immediately once I realized that.
Okay, so you've done that already?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Are you wanting to have contact with James as this is going forward?
Yes, he's the father of my 3 children.
Okay. How long have you known him?
Over 20 years.
Okay. You concerned he's going to hurt you or harm you in any way?
No, sir.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you to come here to seek contact?
No, sir.
Okay. Hang on a second.
Okay.
And so, James, and that's your address on Lima?
Yes.
Okay. And, James, you got a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Climb trees for a living.
Okay. Good enough. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $100. Condition of the bond is that you may have peaceful contact with Heather. James, it is always a crime to touch this young lady any way she does not want to be touched. It now will be a violation of your conditions of pretrial relief if you do anything that can't be described as peaceful contact. That means as much as raising your voice, okay? If we hear that any contact happened that can't be described as peaceful, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held in the county jail without bond. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Heather, you understand that?
Yes.
If he causes a problem, call 911. We'll take him off your hands.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to have you back, James, on the 5th of June. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Good luck.
We were showing is this the violation of the domestic injunction?
We're good? Okay. Okay. And Roberto Stiller?
Yes, sir.
Roberto, what's your date of birth?
4386.
Roberto, I have a warrant for you signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
PD, sir.
I'll point to PD. It says Judge Merritt all over it. Maria? You sure it's a toner? Yeah, it says. All right, so Roberto, I'm going to appoint the public defender. The bond on the warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'll have you back in court on June 11th. PD will come see you before then, okay?
Yes, sir. Sir, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I finished my probation, so I think this is only like the court fees I didn't pay. I don't know if it's the same thing or.
Or what?
It looks like there are a couple of things that you owe. Yep. But
Just
and the judge wrote on here that you made no effort to play your financials. You'll have to deal with him on it. You'll have a chance to talk to Judge Merritt next month.
yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
June 11th, right?
June 11th. All right, Jill, that's it, right?
And thank you.
Yes, sir.
All
We
right.
have nothing.
Thank you.